The Minions are seen as the most iconic figures in the world of animation, especially after their first appearance in Despicable Me. These small speaking creatures have an undeniable charming humor, yet are very chaotic and give off endless energy, which makes them loved by kids and adults. But beneath these charms and laughs lie hidden flaws that most viewers missed. So let's take a closer look at the 15 mistakes in Minion movies you probably didn't notice. First on the list is timeline inconsistencies with Gru's age. One major mistake in the Minions movies is Gru's age. Though the movie is entertaining, fans notice that his age doesn't match across the series. In Despicable Me, Gru looks between his late 40s and early 50s, while in The Rise of Gru, which was set in 1976, Gru was shown to be an 11-year-old aspiring supervillain eager to join the villainous group Vicious Six, which means he was born around 1965. Though biased sources stated he was about 16, this also triggered and raised several questions about the exact time of his youth. However, this escalated things, making a lot of fans doubt it too. Each source gives Gru a different age of their choice. During the original movie, Despicable Me, which was introduced in 2010, Gru was exposed as an adult, adopting his 2 daughters in 2012, which implies that he was in his late 40s at that time. Also in Minions, the movie ended with Gru capturing Scarlet, and he was shown to be 8 years old. In other words, this contradicts his initial age in Rise of Gru, which suggests either changing the story's past or making the timeline more flexible. In essence, Minions ends with him still a kid, but the original Despicable Me begins decades later with a fully formed supervillain. This clearly states we don't know much about Gru's teenage and early adult life, and this leaves the timeline incomplete and also open for fans to interpret differently. Next on the list is the goggles changing material. Another mistake in the Minions movie is the inexplicable change in the material of the Minions' iconic goggles. In Despicable Me, their goggles appear metallic, sturdy, and industrial, matching the high-tech energy of Gru's lab. However, in the Minions set earlier, the goggles look lighter, duller, and more plastic-like, with thinner straps and a toy-like feel. But after the main characters, Kelvin, Stuart, and Bob arrived in New York City, they got shiny googles, which are very familiar from the Despicable Me series. These goggles serve a unique and practical purpose that goes beyond aiding their vision. It also opposes the popular belief that Minions wear goggles because they have poor eyesight. The goggles hold their eye sockets in place. This was revealed when a Minion's eye socket pops out when the goggles are removed. The goggles help to dehumanize the Minions by slightly allowing their eyes to be visible, which is crucial for expressing emotions. This balance helps the audience connect with the characters emotionally while maintaining their mischievous, childlike qualities. The goggles also protect the Minions' eyes during their farce antics and hazardous work. Next on the list is Bob's eye color changes. Bob, one of the most loved Minions, is easily recognized by his 2 different colored eyes, a rare condition called heterochromia. The most striking thing is that his left eye is green and his right eye is brown, unlike other Minions who usually have 1 or 2 brown eyes. This makes Bob such a unique charm with an innocent look, especially when paired with his teddy bear, Tim. Though in the movie, his eye color wasn't visible. His eye color was often shown as either both brown or both green, though it depended on the scene. His heterochromia is purely special and designed by choice to elevate his mischievous persona. This made him instantly seen and loved. This rare trait also connects him with real-life celebrities like Mila Kunis, who also has 2 different colored eyes. Next on the list are the disappearing objects are posters. The disappearing objects and posters are another set of mistakes found in the Minions animation. In one scene at the Villain Expo, a poster of Wild Knuckles behind Gru suddenly disappears, leaving just a blank wall. Later in the movie, Bob's teddy bear switches from being inside a lunchbox to suddenly being in his hands, even though no one touched the box. It was so quick, it almost felt magical. There's also a funny moment where a Minion's Game Boy turns into a popcorn bag mid-scene, and duct tape randomly appears in Bob's hands with no explanation. Posters also vanish and reappear throughout the series. While these background details help build the movie's world, they sometimes shift or disappear between shots. Some fans even believe this might be intentional to match the movie's chaotic and playful style, but in reality, they're likely just small animation slip-ups. Next on the list is the green paint Minion duplication. The green paint Minion duplication was not part of the official Minion storylines, but comes more from fan interpretations, especially during playful scenes involving color mixing, though in some videos and toys, minions like Kevin, Stuart, and Bob are shown mixing colors like yellow and blue to make green, which leads to fun changes in appearance. Even though the color creativity gave the impression that green paint causes minions to duplicate and appear different. However, no scene in the actual movie shows green paint duplicating minions. Instead, the concept reflects the franchise's unusual imaginative tone. It's more of a fun fan theory than a real plot point, added to fill funny scenes that make minions so entertaining. Next on the list is the magazine placement continuity error. Another mistake that was not noticed included props like magazines, though it wasn't shown directly, though the mistakes were part of a broader trend in the franchise, where objects change or disappear between scenes. There was a scene shown where Bob placed his teddy bear's box on the ground before getting into a car, but the box vanishes in the next shot. However, Stuart's broken guitar also disappears after he smashes it, and the characters keep switching sides during scenes. Even background details weren't excluded. Fans changed unexpectedly during a speech, and these mistakes were unintentional animation oversights due to the film's fast pace. Still, they add to the fun for fans who spotted them, though not all fans noticed. Next on the list is the knife handle flips. Also in the Minions, there was a chase scene that featured a villainous nun using nunchaku, which are traditionally two sticks that are linked by a chain. As she throws the weapon toward Gru and other minions during a dramatic slow-motion moment, a clear animation mistake occurs, where the nunchaku appears to have 4 sticks instead of 2. This mistake was a result of the scene's slowed pacing, which is the fault of the animator's oversight. Again, the visually striking scene not only blends humor, but also combines action and unusual style, which reflects the franchise's charm. Irrespective of such slip-ups, the Minions movies remain engaging and widely loved for their interesting energy. Next on the list is the Minion duplicate plate number. Also, there was this funny animation mistake that happened in Minions, when 2 different cars, a hippie van and an old lady's car, both have the same license plate number, D6413 coincidentally. That was so crazy! And this occurred during a hitchhiking scene, and is easy to notice since the cars appear one after the other. It's likely an animation team oversight, as creating unique details for every object can be tricky in big animated films. Some fans joke that it hints at a hidden connection, but most see it as a simple error. Other small mistakes, like changing eye colors or disappearing objects, also appear, but they don't take away from the movie's fun, humor, and creativity. Next on the list are the fire hydrants anachronisms. Another mistake that was not noticed in the Minions movie. There was this clear anachronism that occurred when American-style red fire hydrants appeared on London streets, despite the film being set in 1968. Though as of then, the British hydrants of that era were simple underground pipes marked by signs, not visible like the ones shown in the scenes of the movie. There was a mistake in the part where Kevin uses a hydrant to douse TNT, but it was not obvious. Next on the list is the currency anachronisms. In the Minions movies, there was a subtle yet very obvious flaw in currency usage, despite being set in a specific historical period, like 1976, when The Rise of Gru was filmed. The movie showed modern US currency designs, also the post-1996 features, such as enlarged portraits on it and with this color-shifting ink. Also, the prices of goods reflect modern rates, not the era's inflation. Even in earlier scenes set before the 1960s, modern money and payment systems were used in the movie. These mistakes contrast with the movie's portrayal of period details and also reveal a missed opportunity for historical consistency. Next on the list is Minions holding objects inconsistently. In the Minions movies, the way the Minions hold things often changes from scene to scene. Sometimes they even seem to have 4 arms instead of 2. This wasn't a mistake, it was done on purpose to make the movie funnier and more playful. Also, the way the Minions use tools is very clumsy and silly. This shows their funny and innocent nature. The makers of the movie didn't try to make everything realistic. Instead, they focused on making it fun and exciting. These little changes and funny moments help make the movie lively, interesting, and full of energy. Next on the list is the fan club members disappearing. There were a lot of mistakes in the Minions movie that are not noticeable. This exact animation mistake occurred during Scarlet Overkill's speech at VillainCon. The 3 fan club members dressed exactly like her and are seen in the front row, yet when the camera zooms out, they all disappear suddenly. The error repeated several times and wasn't addressed in the movie, though it was widely seen as a simple animation omission, while some might interpret other ways by saying it's due to faded loyalty, though no profound meaning is attached. Next on the list is where the Minions were captured. Also in the Minions movie, Scarlet Overkill taped the mouths of Kevin, Stuart, and Bob while scolding them, but since Minions don't have visible noses, covering their mouths should have blocked their only way to breathe. Still, they showed no signs of discomfort or suffocation. They acted completely normal. That part was very unrealistic. In real life, taping someone's mouth can be dangerous, especially if they have trouble breathing through their nose. It can lead to serious health problems. Next on the list is Kevin's size change unexplained. There was a scene in Minions where Kevin suddenly turned into a giant while trying to rescue Stuart and Bob from Scarlet Overkill. It happened by accident. He bumped into a machine in Scarlet's lair without knowing he had pressed some buttons, flipped switches, pulled levers, and blew into a tube. Even though it was unexpected, this moment was important to the story. Giant Kevin was able to defeat Scarlet and save his friends. Unlike the Mega Minions introduced later, Kevin's size change was by mistake and didn't last long. He eventually returned to his normal Minion form. And finally, freeze ray usage inconsistency. The freeze ray is a staple gadget used in the Despicable Me franchise, which shows obvious inconsistencies across the movies. It was one of Gru's antics, which he mostly used to freeze people, and this emphasizes his unusual villain image in the movie. However, in Minions, the younger Gru used a cheese ray in place of the traditional freeze ray, which shows an early prototype and also creates a timeline gap. Also, during the scenes at Villain Con, hints are given that Gru acquired the freeze ray from Dr. Nefario, where they explored their ideas of invention and inheritance. These changes reflect how the storyline is evolving, though it complicates the continuity within the franchise. These are some of the hidden mistakes you might have missed in the Minions movie. What do you think about them? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and share if you enjoyed this, and follow for more fun videos like this one.